everyone, it's Tanya, and I thought we could work on a card today. I know I haven't had a video out for a while. It's just been crazy busy for me, but I thought today I would do a video. I do want to apologize ahead of time if you hear a lot of squeaking in the background. My fur baby Axel got a new toy yesterday and he is completely obsessed with this toy. I will insert a picture of him here. He is so obsessed with this toy. He's carrying it around everywhere. He even tries to take it out to potty with him. So if you hear squeaking, I'm very sorry. I'm going to try to cut out as much of it as possible. Hopefully he'll be quiet, play quietly with it during the video. So let's get started with what I have out here. So for what I have for today, I have some distressed oxides. I have Scorched Timber, Faded Jeans, Mowed Lawn. I have Squeezed Lemonade, Worn Lipstick, and Festive Berries. I have Distressed Archival ink and Black Soot. I have Ranger Archival ink and Shadow Gray. I have 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of mixed media card stock. I have the same size in black because I may matte that. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to use black, but I have it just in case. And I have a top fold A2 card ready to go. I have this new Sizzix Stacy Park stamp, and this is Uptown Cosmopolitan. And if you have not seen these new stamps, they are big. These are really large stamps and they stamp beautifully. So I'm going to be using that today. I have this sentiment set from Sizzix, and this is the Sunnyside Sentiments number 5. And I think I'm going to use the Sending Well Wishes Your Way, I think. Anyway, and then I have this Sizzix stencil set today, and this one is just called Flowers, so I'm going to use that. I also have out some blending brushes. I'm going to be using my stencil and stamp tool today, probably my Misty. So let's get started. Got my Misty out, and I am going to, let me see, I'm going to get my scrapbook.com mat, which I need to replace because I accidentally heated it and it's now warped. And I'm just going to lay this in the center. And I'm going to get my stamp. I'm just going to place that in here. And like I said, you can see how big that stamp is in this Misty. So I'm just going to press that down. And this inking doesn't have to be perfect. I actually want it to be kind of light in color. I thought I had, let me see, a piece of scrap paper here. Yes. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of go in lightly. And before I stamp it on here, I'm going to test it by placing this scrap of paper here and just see how dark it is. Because I don't want this too dark. And if it's too dark, I'll just do a second stamping. So you see how it's just kind of distressed looking. That's the look I want to go for. So I'm going to like I said, just kind of do that. I am going to use the second impression. So I stamped it first onto my scrap, and now I'll stamp it onto my actual card. Ah, perfect. Except for that little glob right there. Okay. So I'm going to peel that off. The next thing I'm going to do is bring out my Stampin' Stencil tool from Sizzix. And I'm going to remove this top piece here because I don't need that. I'm going to take this off for a minute and I'm going to peel the paper off of my sticky grid. Now what I want to do is I want to see exactly where I want this flower to be. So the best way to do that is use this one. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this on like that. And I always use that, try to center it when I'm using the smaller size paper. And I'm just going to stick this on because it's going to give me a good idea of where the flower is going to be. So that way I can take my actual cardstock and kind of make sure I place it where I want it to be. And I don't know if you can see, but this stencil has lines that go around it for the square. So that's awesome. So that's where I want my cardstock to be. I can peel this back off. Let me see. I don't know if you can see them, but it's lines around it. So it shows you where to line your paper up. These stencils also are numbered. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. They have numbers right at the top here, so you know exactly which order you're going in. So we're going to start with number 1. And for number 1, I'm going to be using the Faded Jeans and the Mowed line. And because these are a little bit bigger area, I'm going to grab my bigger brushes. So I'm going to start at the bottom with the Mowed line. I had to grab these to stick under here because I don't have room to sit them on this to keep them from moving. So we'll just grab those. So I'm going to start with my Mowed line. I'm trying to make sure everything's in frame here. And I'm just going to go in at the bottom with that. And then I'm going to come in with my Faded Jeans. I'm going to come in from the top. Like this. And then I'm not going to put any more on my brush. In fact, I'm just going to wipe my brush off a little bit on a piece of paper. And I'm just going to kind of blend here. And I'm going to do the same thing with the blue. Just off to the side, I wipe that off with the, on my piece of scrap paper. And I'm just blending. Oh, that's why you should hold your stencil. So, didn't hold my stencil, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, so now I'm going to put tops on these, move them to the side. We're going to remove this. It did get under there where it lifted. That was my fault, but it'll be fine because this is supposed to look distressed anyway. Okay, I'm going to go in now with stencil number 2. For this, I'm using Squeezed Lemonade. Grab my brushes here. Probably could have used a bigger blending brush for this one too. But I've got these out, so we're just going to use them. Okay. Next, I'm going to go in with a little worn lipstick. And that's going to be with stencil number 3. Almost forgot to switch my stencils. This is stencil number 3 I'm putting down. And this one I'm going to go in with 2 colors. So I'm going to go in with Worn Lipstick on this one and Festive Berries. So I'm going to kind of start with the lighter in the centers, like this. And then put that up here. And I'm going to go back with just a little bit of this right back into the center to blend it out like that. So that was stencil number 3. Here we go with stencil number 4. And see how easy these line up? I just love it. They just line up so easy. Now for stencil number 4, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use 2 colors. So I'm going to use the Mowed Lawn on the stems, and I'm going to use the Scorched Timber in the centers of the flowers. I love this new Stampin' Stencil tool from Sizzix. It's new to me. I don't know how long they've had it out. But it's new to me, and it's just, ever since I've got it, I have really been using a lot more stencils because it really makes it so much easier to stencil anything. I've actually been buying a lot more stencils too since I got it. So just a warning, if you get one, it might cause you to buy stencils. Because it makes stenciling so much more fun. So easy to use. You know it always lines up. And you can also get, and I will show you those. Let me grab them real quick. You can get these little universal stencil converters. So you stick them on to any other brand of stencil. Like they'll work with the Tim Holtz ones. They'll work with just about any kind of stencil you have, and you just stick them onto your stencil, and they're reusable, and then they'll fit right on here. So this is not just for Sizzix stencils. It'll work for any stencils if you get these universal stencil converters to go with it. And I'll try to link all this in my description box. So there we go. We got that on there. Like that. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is put my paper back on here. And this does stamping too, by the way. And it will do the really large stamps, as you can see, because look how big it is. I mean, that's a huge amount of space. I also like the fact that everything just stores right back in here. So, everything stores nice and neat together. This is not a color combination I usually go for, but I wanted to try something a little different today. And I really like how it's popping off that background. But what I am going to do is test and see really quickly if I like the black behind it. Just give me an idea. I do think I like it because I think it brings this out a little bit better. Okay, so we are going to trim this down just slightly. And I'm going to use my Tim Holtz trimmer for that. And I'm just going to take a little bit off. Probably bring it down to about 4 inches. I'm just going to take a little off of each side here. going to take some off the top and bottom. So we'll get it down to 5 1/4. I don't want to take too much off the top though. Because, no, let's take it off the bottom because I don't want to cut into that flower at the top. So let's just take it off the bottom. Okay. So now that will mat nicely onto there like that. And you know what? I am going to grab this back out and I'm going to use it because I need to replace the sticky in my Misty. So I'm just going to use this for stamping today. And I do think I want to use this sending well wishes your way, I mean, I think. Do I want to use that one? I don't know. Let me look at it differently. Turn this way so I can see a little better how it's going to look on here. And you know what I like to do is pop the top off here. And that gives me a little bit better idea. Yeah, I do think I want to use that. Okay. So we're just going to line this up where we want it. And I know you probably can't see too great what I'm doing here. I'm going to move it over. I'm just going to ink out my stamp. And I'm going to use my tool, press it down. Okay, so we have that stamped down. I'm just going to remove that out of there. Let's see. I really like the way that looks. I'm going to grab some glue. And you know what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take just a little of this brown that's left on my brush from the flowers, and I'm just going to go right along the edge a little bit here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I want to get a little color there. Okay. That. Yeah, like that. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead. We are going to glue this onto the black. And I feel like this looks kind of mixed media without using all the mixed media things that you normally would have to use. It still gives you kind of that same look. You don't get all the texture, of course, but you do get the depth. So there's that. Okay, now, next thing we're going to do, make sure it's lining up perfectly. I'm going to add it to my card base. I was getting ready to glue that on upside down. That would not be the first time I've done that. So as you can tell, this was super quick to do. For some reason, my glue is now clogged. I think I need to refill this bottle. Fix That's what the problem is. So I'm going to line that up just like this. There's that. Now the last thing I think I'm going to do is add some type of gems. So I'm going to see what I have and I'll be right back. There is one more thing I wanted to do before I put the gems on, and I almost forgot. I think I want to use the Festive berries and do a little bit of a, well, that might be more than I need. Do a little splatter on here. So just put some ink down and some water, and I'm going to pick it up with my brush and just do a little splatter. That's good. I don't want to put heat on that because I don't want to warp my card. I should have done that before I glued it down. Trying to figure out what color, or if I just want to go with clear. I have those, which would probably look good. I'll grab my little pick tool and we'll test a couple different ones and see what we like. So I've got these. Let's see what these look like. Those are kind of pretty. They pick up all the different colors. Trying to find one of the medium-sized ones in here. I got a ton of little ones. That's a little one. Some bigger one, yes. That's what that color looks like. What does the yellow ones look like? I kind of like those. Let's take these back off. Try the yellow ones instead. Oh, lost one. Yeah, I think I like those. Okay, so we're going to go with those yellow ones. There we go. That was super quick and easy to make. And look at how vibrant it is. This background really makes the stencil pop out with that textured stamp behind it. You could even leave this layer off if you didn't like it, but I really like that layer of the stencil. But if you didn't want that on there, you could definitely take that off. You could also go with a lighter color here, like some grays. But I really like the contrast of the colors together. I just think it makes the card kind of pop.
All the links in the description box will be affiliate links. By you clicking and purchasing from those links, I do make a small commission, but at no additional cost to you. And it helps to keep this channel going and helps me to keep making these videos. So I do appreciate it when you use those links. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If there's ever anything that I cannot link, I just want to say that I will try to make substitute links for that. So if you see in the links something that says like alternative link, it's because I couldn't find what I used, but I tried to give you something that was very similar. I hope this card inspires you to create something today. I thank you again for watching. Please make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and have a great day.